Alright, so what's good, y'all? It's your boy Skinny back with another story time. Y'all freaking loved the last one, man. Never really ask for like likes or anything like that, but like, man, y'all liked the last story time. Y'all liked that thing up, got some comments and all that. Y'all seem to enjoy it, so I'm back. I'll give y'all another story time because why not? I got this. This is my drink, so if you hear me drinking something in the background, you know why. Yeah, man. So without further ado, so I should mention, shout outs to Forrest on this one. This man made the most adorable meme of me telling him and a can of Monster some story times and stuff. And when I saw that meme, I told him, I'm like, all right, that's it. New story time's getting recorded now. So yeah, I am a man of my word. I'm gonna tell y'all some stories, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all some of the weirdest stuff that's happened to me on cross country team, cause man, that stuff was whack. So, oh man, where to begin? So let's start with this, right? Back in middle school, admittedly, not too much happened in middle school. I learned not to mess with Ouija boards in that time. That was nice. Not even almost. I had my first real event where I thought I was gonna die. That was traumatic. But other than that, middle school was pretty chill, and middle school was mostly known for me as the time when I started to like running stuff. Right? I mentioned in the last video. That's like my main thing. I don't even use like this car this much. I mostly just run everywhere. Now I gotta use it now because COVID shut everything down. I gotta go through drive-thrus and all that. Hence why your boy got this. But like all the people in town, like they see me running and stuff. And middle school was when I started doing that. I would freaking kill the pacer tests, so much so that the kids would get impatient with me. Because, like, the faster you finish the pacer test, the faster you can actually go and, do other gym stuff. And they would start throwing stuff at me. So, that was interesting. But, in fact, you know what? I know what I'm going to use for a thumbnail of this video. The thumbnail is young Skinny back in the day in his middle school cross-country days. I may or may not blur out the face, but, whatever. So, what was it? So I become like one of the best runners in middle school, blow it out of the park, right? I've got like this quirk, if you can call it that, where I basically have like limitless stamina. Like I can really easily conserve and regain stamina like on the fly. And I go to the high school cross country team, which is where all the stories are going to start, right? Man, so first day of practice, I'll never forget this. We're doing laps around the lake, and I was awful. I was so bad. God, I was so bad that the coach made me run with the girls. And then the girls were beating me. That was a very humiliating time for me. Let me say that. My pride has never been checked. Hold on, it's hot. Every so often I'm going to open my door and let some air in. It's just hot out here in Tennessee. Welcome to the South. Yeah, It's hot as heck out here. But anyway, so the girls were beating me. Now, obviously, back then, it didn't click that these, girls and boys were 4 years older than me with much more experience and, time and not just cross-country, but in track. I don't know why, but people who do both track and cross-country have, like, this big amp over people who only do, the one. So, that doesn't click with me, right? And my pride was so hurt that I stopped. Like, I literally just quit. And I basically became the one punch man. Y'all know that 10-kilometer run a day thing? Yeah, like, that was me. Like, in real life. Every day, I would push myself to the point of exhaustion. Every single day. Unless I was, like, deathly sick. And after a whole year of training. I'm talking school year and summer. A whole year of training. I come back, and I'm number one JV. And here's some of the weird stuff that happened, right? So, one weird thing that happened right now, y'all look over there, you see like those stores and stuff. There was a Target, right? Oh, I should mention, the coach gave no squats. He only cared about the varsity team. The junior varsity, which was what I was the number one of. I was number one JV. And I would have made varsity, but there was just so many already kids on the varsity team that there's just too many. But so coach didn't give a crap about us, so we would just go on these like multiple mile, I'm talking like all the way across the street, these multiple mile runs, no parental supervision. The only catch was that we couldn't be caught like basically slacking, right? So we're running around one day, it's hot as blazes. This is hot as blazes now actually, and one of my boys is like, yo, let's go find a place to crash, right? Because I'm hot, I'm tired, and some of the other guys were feeling the same way. So we found a Target, right? Found a Target, and we went in there. Now, imagine this, right? Imagine you're a cashier, you're working at Target, you're ringing people up and all that. And then all of a sudden, you see a group of like 5 to 6 sweaty high school shirtless cross-country dudes walk in and just chilling there. Now, I should mention, I always wore a shirt. I was the only guy on the team, or not just guy, I was the only person on the team who wore like clothing above the waist. You feel me? Like, I don't know why. It wasn't like self-confidence. I just always wore a shirt. I guess I just really liked wearing shirts or something. But yeah, and they would always like mess with me. But just imagine like this group of 5 or 6 guys, all shirtless except for one, sweating, stinking like a sack of fish, man. Just a stack of fish. And I had $10 on me because when we goof off, whenever we go out, just in case we decide to like get some or whatever, I always have $10 on me. And so I pull out $10. I'm like, yo, drinks, and we all start getting soda, and we start chilling, right? Your boy was into this stuff, way back in the day. And soda's like basically the equivalent of like drugs for cross country. That's like a no-no. So we're hanging around, right? And there's this guy standing by like the entrance. I'm talking like, see the entrance by that Office Depot? Like, he was standing like right there. He's looking in, and he sees us there, right? Now, at first, I figured, all right, this is a pretty weird, sighting. A group of dudes loitering around. We're sweaty. We're, hot and all that. But I don't really pay that much attention. And then he keeps sitting there. And then I noticed for like 5 to 10 minutes, he was on his phone. And he's like looking at all of us. And I'm like, still kind of weird, but, whatever. And eventually, it just clicks on me, like, he's been sitting there for too long. And I'm like, guys, I tell him, like, yo, guys, there's a guy, he's, like, staking us out. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. He's just, he's weird or whatever, don't worry. Well, my white people senses kick in, right? It's basically my version of the Spidey sense. My white people senses kick in. And I immediately decide that I should probably head out, right? Dude, I don't even make it out the front door. Or not the front door, sorry. I don't even make it out the parking lot. I don't even make it out the freaking parking lot. And my coach drives up in his huge freaking truck. And my coach is huge, by the way. My coach looks like a freaking gorilla. My coach could snap me in half. I don't know why someone who does cross country was that freaking huge, but he was. All the other teachers were terrified of him. Not like, actually, but like they were like, oh, geez, dude, like, yikes. So, my God. So the guy... The guy looks at me, right? He takes one look at me, he sees the Coke in my hand, I'm just like, caught. That's it. Caught. Busted. And I do what any responsible high school cross-country person would do in that situation. I ran so fast because I knew that the other guys were stupid and didn't listen to me, and they were in the store. So he either has the option of either A, grabbing the one me, or B, grabbing like the 5 to 4 other dudes in there, right? Obviously, he went and got them. Man, he drove up to us, man, gave us the chewing of a lifetime. I don't know, something else. That's like a little mini story, right? Let me give y'all some of the better stuff. I'm going to tell y'all about when we decided to go down to Nashville. Oh, also, I should mention that my phone battery or storage is crap. So if I suddenly cut out, yeah, you know why. But anyway, so we all decided so cross country, what we would do is we would go to state, right? And state is like, we would all go to okay, hang on. It's too freaking hot. I'm sorry. If y'all got a problem with like the AC in the background, tough. But like when I say I'm sweating, like, yo. So, what we would do was, here, let me at least try to turn it down somewhat. There we go. That's good enough. God, Jesus, I'm hot. So, we all went to state one time, right? We're all going down to Nashville. Nashville is the state capital of Tennessee. for those who don't know, for you Brits, that's our that's our capital, right? And the state capital. So, and what we would do is, if we did really, really good, if our school did good, we would go down there, we would run. So we all go down there, right? And we stayed in a hotel. We as a team stayed in the hotel. And the coach, I'll never forget this. Now, I should mention you something. Now, remember, I said that this is so much better. Oh, thank God I turned on the AC. I mentioned earlier that, he don't really care about the varsity and the junior varsity. We just chilled. We were a bunch of clowns. We were a bunch of absolute BSing weirdos, right? But we had some pretty good scores, thanks to, yours truly and a few other high tiers. And he grabbed me and like two of the other guys. We were the most extra of the extra, if you know what I'm saying. We were the most energetic, shall we say. And he was like, listen, you are going to stay in a hotel room by yourself. I'm going to trust y'all to not do anything insane. Right, so we all get in there, right? And each room has 4 guys, right? It was me, my homeboy Mitch, and I'm gonna say his real name because Mitch is a horrible person. And I'm gonna send him this video so that way he knows that I think that not only is he one of the best guys I've ever met on the team, he's also a horrible person. It's me, Mitch, and 2 other guys that don't really matter, but I love them just as much, right? So we all get in there, right? Now here's the issue, homies. We're all boys. Most of my people, we're dudes. Aside from the few that actually watch me. Shout out to Olivia. She's gonna kick me for that because I said her real name. My bad. Might have to edit that out. So, now my peoples. See if you can spot the problem here. 2 beds, 4 guys. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. So we did what most manly men did in the event of there only being 2 beds, but there being 4 guys. Because look, there's no way that 2 dudes are gonna sleep together in they're pretty short beds. Like they were meant for only 1 person. There's no way 2 dudes are gonna. No. We fought. We immediately started fighting. Not like to the death or anything, but like if we could pin you to the ground, you're out. So needless to say, I was sleeping on the floor. Look, I'm not exactly the most buff individual. I mean, I got a little muscle here and there early, but it's definitely not back then. So, I was sleeping on the floor. That's tough. And, yeah, basically it's a very quick way to establish dominance, right? Well, aside from all that, the coach was feeding us spaghetti. We had a big, massive spaghetti. I'm talking big tubs. I'm talking like more than this bag's worth of spaghetti. Huge buffet of spaghetti. Because spaghetti's really good for runners. Like, I forgot why. There's some, nutritional, Do I really look like I care about, healthy food? So, we were like, bump all of that. So my parents had given me like $100 to hold me over. We ordered so much Chick-fil-A, man. Like this is nothing. We got so much Chick-fil-A. And then, so down in the hotel lobby, they had like this little like snack bar or something, right? You can buy drinks, you can buy candy, stuff like that. Dude, we got the snacks and stuff, put it in the Chick-fil-A bag, carried it up to our room. Now we all had to keep this like under like the hush hush because coach would get mad because he hated like junk food, junk snacks, and this is like big time race. I'm talking huge race, right? This is state. Like this is no game. We smuggled so much junk food, and we're just gorging ourselves, man. Like and we can't eat in the regular area. We're eating in our room. Like we're sitting on the beds. We're sitting on it was literally just like a little hotel room. It was 1 room and 1 bathroom, right? And we're sitting on the floor, sitting on the bed, and we're eating, and we're laughing, we're joking. I'm telling them stories, like I'm doing now. And at one point, my homeboy Mitch, he pulls out his phone and starts playing, what was his name? Afro Man. He starts playing Afro Man songs. And we start doing karaoke while drinking soda and eating all this junk food. We're loud as heck, right? Loud as heck. And the coach hears us, knocks on the door. We freeze. And oh my God. I'll never forget this. I go, execute order 66! And we shove We shove all the junk and the wrappers under the beds. And one of us goes up and opens the door. And Coach comes in. He's like, what are you guys doing? Y'all are too loud, man. Y'all got to settle down. And he looks at all of us and he's like, hold on. Have y'all eaten? We're like, yeah, Coach. Yeah, we've eaten. And he looks at us. He's like, you know, he's looking around. And he sniffs. He goes, he's like, it smells in here. What y'all got food up here? And we're just like, no. We got no food, Coach. And he walks around. Dude, we're sweating. Because if he finds out we're dead men walking. He looks around and he's looking at the beds, he's looking at the table, looks in the bathroom, and he looks at us, he's like, all right, y'all settle down now. He walks out. Man, we start laughing, man. So we pull the food out from under the beds and continue eating and, you know, having fun. And I look at them, right? I look at all my boys. There's 4 of us. I look at our boys and I'm like, hey, we're right by the city of Nashville. Like, our hotel was on the side of a highway. All we'd have to do is hop on the highway and we're literally like in the city. Let's go have some fun. And now my homeboy Mitch, he was like, yo, but if the coach catches us, like, you know, forget food and all that. If the coach catches us outside of the hotel, we're definitely dead, right? I'm basically snitching on myself by making this video. I realized, I hope he doesn't see this. So he's like, yo, we're dead. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. We just got away with that. We're fast. We got this. So I take him out. And we are running on the side of the highway into Nashville. And when I say here's the big thing, right? So there was this short, like half white, half black dude. We'll call him A, right? Ant. We'll call him Ant. Ant's mom gave him like $200. I mean, this dude was stacked. We went into town, man, or not town. We went into the city, and we had a blast. We started messing with the 7-Eleven. We went and hung out. It was like this arcade area. We hung out at the arcade. We had a blast. It's like 10:30 at night, right? Curfew, or like lights out, was in like half an hour. You feel me? It was like 11 or midnight-ish. I forgot which one it was, but we wanted to be back by 11. And here's the thing. The entire night, we've been trying to hop the bus because the hotel we were at was like one of those where like the buses would stop people off at the airport, right? Like the airport people would come off and chill in that hotel. Poor things, right? They had to deal with a bunch of noisy high schoolers. There's no way they were happy. But regardless, in fact, I forgot this part. I remember one time I was yelling out, FBI, open up! Around the other rooms, and I kid you not, I went downstairs to get a refill on, you know, some of this. We were running low on the drinks. I went downstairs and I saw the desk attendant guy saying, dude, we're here about the FBI. The FBI. I'm like, all right, great. So, but anyway, we've been trying to hop the bus for the past literally like 3 times. Missed it every single time. 3rd time we missed it, I'm like, all right, we're going on foot, boys. They're all crying stuff. Oh, come on, man. We're tired, dude. We can't make it. We're tired. I'm like, you better make it, or coach is going to wear you like a freaking, wear you like a coat. Well, that was pretty good incentive because, again, our coach is huge. And so we start running on the freaking highway again. You know how there's like dents in the middle of the road? Kind of like that thing, right? Like that thing. There was this Mexican guy in a lawn chair. He's just, imagine the highway. He's sitting right there in a lawn chair, and he looks at us. He's just chilling, and Mitch is like, what the heck is that guy? And he looks at us. He's like, hello, hombres, gringos. And so we're like, did he just call us a gringo? That was a weird sighting. That guy was just sitting there in his lawn chair. Hello, gringos. So, hombres. We get back to the hotel, and I remember we specifically had Ant, the short guy. He went up to the windows. He was scoping the place out. No one was there, right? So we sneak in, and in the main area, right, like the main hotel area, whatever you want to call it. That's like where the rest of the team was hanging out. And some of them see us, and we make eye contact, right? And we're just like, they know. They know, right? And like we kind of go over there and we're like, hey guys, like how's it going? And they're just like, been anywhere? Skinny? And we're just like, no, man, we're please don't snitch. Please don't snitch. They don't snitch though. They didn't snitch. Now if the varsity guys had caught us, they definitely would have snitched. But they were upstairs. They were upstairs doing something. So we hung out for a minute. One guy had his phone out and had some speakers. We were all dancing and stuff. if y'all recall the girl from the last time she was there, I danced with her for a minute. That was nice. And we went upstairs, right? I remember this was like the realest moment, right? My homeboy Mitch, this is why I decided to really include him on the story. My homeboy Mitch had a girl, right, on his Snap, and he was trying to talk with her, and he finally got like her to agree to call on the phone. And I remember specifically, I was like, all right, everyone out, give the man the room, right? And I pushed the other two guys out, and I'm like, yo, you got like 10 to 20 minutes. Close the door, and we immediately started being like, basically kids. Like, we were trying to listen in on what he was saying. It was cringy. Mitch has no game. Mitch, you have no game. It was really, really cringy. But it was good. It was good. We came back in, messed with the guy. Went to sleep, right, at like 1 in the morning. Woke up at like 5, so we're exhausted. Now, let me tell y'all something about the Nashville race. You know, it's the day of the race. It's time to go, right? You know, it's game time. You know, got our running pants on and all this. We're ready to go. Nashville, the race at Nashville is a horse racing area turned into a cross-country place. There is no trees. No trees, no shade. Hills, anyone who runs knows hills are like killer. And there's no, like, there were no clouds. In fact, it was so much heat, people were putting sunblock on. And I'll never forget this, man. So my homeboy, what should I call him? I'll call him Bran, right? Bran comes up, that's not his name, but you know, I'm like cutting it short. Bran comes up to me. He's like one of my best friends on the team, man. Like, ultimate best friends. He's like, yo, I'm gonna run with you. Now, I've always been consistently better than this guy. It's like by a couple minutes, and a couple minutes is like a lot. But he's come to me, he's like, yo, I want to run with you. And I told him, you sure, man? Because like, this is a really brutal race. Nobody does super good on this race because of the elements, right? Because of the heat, because of the no shade, because of the hills. Like, if you break a record and do like super good on this race, like, you actually have been doing something wrong. I'm like, are you sure about this? He's like, yeah, I'm going to stick with you, right? And we start going. And it's 3 laps, right? 3 huge, grueling laps, man. I'm just pouring sweat. I'm dying. My legs feel like they're on fire. And there was one key detail I forgot to mention, right? We're scoping. We get to the track. Me and my boys, we get to the track. We all had to carpool. And I'm like, guys, we just spent the whole night eating junk food, drinking junk. We ate sugar cereal that day and like snacks. And we spent a bunch of energy last night. And we are about to run on one of arguably the hardest course in Tennessee. And there was a moment of silence, and Mitch is just like, oh, well, we're done. Mitch is just like, oh, well, we did. So we get up this, man. We're running this race. I'm dying. I remember halfway through the second lap. It's only the second lap, not even the third. The second lap. Halfway through, my homeboy Brand starts like breaking off, and I started quoting Star Wars. I'm like, we're not done yet, man. Come on, we can beat these guys. We could do this, and he just can't do it. And you know, he fell off. I remember there was this other time before he fell off. We were running, right, and we run by where like some of the people are, and tell me why to the side of me I hear. And I'm like, okay, you're supposed to control your breathing to at least some degree. Maybe someone's dying. I don't know. I look over and I see the biggest white guy I have ever seen in my life running next to us, man. He's looking, and when I say big, I don't mean like, you know, muscular. I mean like actually big, like vast ocean big. Like, he's fat. He is jiggling every time he jumps. When he takes a steps, it looks like he's jumping. No crap, man. Me and Brandon, man, we saw that. We very quickly put on the afterburners because like, yo, this dude's gonna like, geez, that was scary. So it's the last lap, right? And each lap, by the way, changes. Like, we go through a different path for each lap. And you know, I specifically remember, like, we're fixing to go. It looks like we're going to take a turn, just go straight to the finish line. No. You know, people keep going, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. I got this. I got just enough stamina and energy left to make it through this. And I'm running, and I'm sweating, and I'm borderline in tears. And I look up, and I see this huge hill. I'm talking this hill, like, from here to, it looked like the size of that freaking tree. It was a huge hill, man. I look at that hill and I say to myself in my mind, I have never climbed a hill that big in my life. And then I passed out and I woke up in the finish line. Then I woke up at the finish line. So what actually happened, right? I usually like to just tell people, and then I woke up at the finish line. But what actually happened was, I start climbing this hill, dude, and it's the worst thing in my life, right? I'm just like, dude, God, take me, please. I'm about to be knocking on heaven's door, climbing this hill, man. And I get to the top of the hill, and I start to go down. And as I'm going down, I see my coach. My coach is yelling his head off, like, yo, go, 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 go. And he looks at me, he goes, Duggar. Oh, shit, that's my last name. Well, now y'all know my full name. My bad. People call me by my last name, like, all the time. Like, all the freaking time. But anyway, he looks at me, he goes, dude. Now y'all already know my name. Duggar, run. I start to run. He goes, that girl is waiting at the finish line for you. The girl from last story time, right? He yells out the girl's name. He goes, that girl. He actually says her name, though. That girl is at the finish line waiting for you. And at that moment, listen, anyone who plays like sports, works out a bunch will tell you, like, emotional amps are crazy. You can do crazy stuff if you can get yourself ticked off, you can get yourself hyped up, whatever. Dude, when coach said that, in front of all those guys, by the way, I had some street cred, you can't just, oh man, what did I feel? I felt rage, humiliation, embarrassment, excitement, happiness, all at once. But in terms of running, dude, I turned into Super Saiyan 18.5, unlocked my mystic potential, Kaioken times 1 billion. Dude, my clothes just melt off my body, my hair bursts into flames, and I just go. And I'm running on fumes, by the way. That's the one issue they don't tell you with emotional amps. They'll give you crazy amps, but if you don't have anything to back it up in the body to like fuel it, oh. So I'm running down this hill full speed. I get through the freaking finish line, and I actually finished like really good. I actually got a medal, which I might show. I don't know. Discord boys, if you want to see it, I'll take a picture and I'll show you the medal I got. But I go through the finish line. It was easily the hardest race I've ever done. Well, okay, third. At least third, possibly second, hardest race I've ever done in my life. Crossed the finish line, man, and she was there, yes, but not for me. Lying piece of crap. She was just cheering people on. And I bend down, and when the emotional amp wears off, because I crossed the finish line, right, and it all just hits me. Like, all the fatigue, all the stress, everything, and I start dry heaving. I dry heave twice. The reason why nothing came out is because there was nothing in there to come out. One of the guys from the other team comes up and he sees me and he's just like, oh man, yeah, I know what school you're from, yeah. He comes up and he picks me up and we start doing like this army walking. I've never seen this guy in my life, by the way. But he's a super cool dude. He comes up and we start army walking and he has one of those little small paper cups of water. And little tip for people, like I was so bad I literally couldn't sit up straight. What he did was he poured the ice water on my back, and this is like a little tip. If you're ever like if you can't fully sit up, or if fatigue and like just exhaust is taking over, try to instill like a short amount of shock, because that extreme temperature change from the heat to extreme cold because the water like shocked my body up. Now I can walk, thank God. But yeah, we laugh and joke for a minute. I go down to the tent, man. And that girl actually did come by and say hi to me. But she saw me dry heaving, so she kind of like backed off, which is understandable. My homeboy came in about a couple minutes later. He was dead. Poor guy. Mitch was dead. Mitch collapsed. And then there's more to the story, but this is already about a half hour long. I'm going to make a part 2. Yeah, I'll make a part 2. And long story short, after that, I hopped in my car. I didn't even stay. I grabbed my medal, said, peace out to my homies, and I went in my car with my family. My family went with me there. They got some great pictures. And we went to this chicken place. Now, they went to this sandwich place. I didn't want a sandwich because I was like, dude, I need food. And my dad gave me like $40. And I went to this fast food chicken place. I don't remember the name. I think it was Zaxby's. It might have been. No, it wasn't Zaxby's. I don't know. It was like this local chicken place. And it was the best chicken I've ever had in my life. I had a milkshake. I had a large drink. I had just huge amounts of fries. I had chicken. I ate all of it. And I took a picture of it. And I sent it to one of my friends on the team. And he's just like, dude, you are a moron. You're going to throw all that up. And I'm like, nah. I actually remember I did some Undertale scaling at that restaurant. I remember I was looking up YouTube videos and stuff for like Undertale scaling. I specifically remember that, yeah. So, yeah, man. A little story time. I'll make part 2 with some other fun, crazy stuff. Part 2 is going to include things like waxing and shaving cream wars. Yeah, I'm going to give y'all a couple more stories for sure. But yeah, stay up, man. That's it. That's like part 1 of this little story time. Definitely not as funny as some of the other ones I've got. I'm definitely gonna show you guys some more, but hopefully it was somewhat funny for y'all. And yeah, man, y'all already know what to do. Peace.